Let's get something straight, Dog Pound. There's a line between speculation and disrespect, and what dropped this week crossed it. According to Jacob Infante from Pro Football Network, the Browns are projected to draft Arch Manning, #1 overall in 2026, effectively dumping Shedeur Sanders before the rookie's even taken a meaningful snap. Let that sink in. We haven't even gone through training camp, and national media is already calling it. Shedeur's not the guy. Now look, I get it. We went 3-14 last year. The quarterback room was a carousel of injuries and inconsistency. Deshaun Watson didn't finish the season. Kenny Pickett couldn't stay on the field. Joe Flacco was a patch. So yes, the future at quarterback is uncertain. But what's absolutely maddening is this rush to erase Shedeur Sanders from the picture before the season even begins. Sanders wasn't some random pick. Sure, he dropped to the 5th round, but the guy was projected by many to go day 1 just months before the draft. He had the numbers, the pedigree, the poise. He dropped because of draft politics, not because of lack of talent. And he's done everything right since arriving in Berea. You've heard it from Bernie Kosar. You've seen it in the reports. Shedeur is the first guy in, last guy out. He's out there before dawn working drills. He's staying late signing autographs, building respect with veterans, soaking up every ounce of coaching. That's the DNA of a franchise quarterback, whether the draft capital says round 1 or round 5. And yet Infante, and let's be real, he's not the only one, thinks Cleveland's already got one foot out the door, ready to take a true franchise QB in next year's draft. Let me ask this, what makes a true franchise QB? Is it just a high draft grade? Is it a famous last name like Manning? Is it coming from Texas instead of Colorado? Because from where I'm sitting, a true franchise QB is defined not by where he's drafted, but by what he does with the opportunity he's given. And right now, Sanders hasn't even gotten that opportunity. He's 4th on the depth chart, behind Flacco, Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel, sure. But what do you expect? That's the system. That's how rookies earn their stripes. What matters is how he responds. And Shedeur's response? Pure professionalism, pure fire. But let's not kid ourselves. The media narrative is powerful. When a guy like Arch Manning gets mentioned in the same sentence as Cleveland's future, it sends a message to fans in the locker room alike. It says Shedeur's just a placeholder. It says, don't get too invested. And to that I say, nonsense. The Browns spent 2 draft picks this year on quarterbacks, Gabriel in the 3rd, Shedeur in the 5th. Neither pick cost premium capital, sure, but they weren't random stabs in the dark. They were calculated moves to find value. And Shedeur has the kind of chip on his shoulder that turns value into vengeance. Now yes, if the Browns crash again this season and end up with the #1 pick, it's a conversation. You don't pass up generational talent just because you like your day 3 guy. But we're not there yet. That's April talk. This is August. And right now, Shedeur is still in the fight. He's still absorbing Kevin Stefanski's offense. He's still gaining respect. And if there's one thing Browns fans should have learned by now, it's that success in Cleveland isn't handed out. It's earned. You think Bernie Kosar was handed the keys? You think Baker Mayfield wasn't doubted from day 1? This city breeds quarterbacks the hard way, through mud, through pain, through cold winds off Lake Erie, and boos from every direction. You don't survive here unless you've got grit in your chest and ice in your veins. And Shedeur, he's built for that. Now let's flip this whole thing around. What if Shedeur does get some playing time this year? What if he gets a shot late in the season when the team's out of playoff contention? What if he shows flashes, timing, accuracy, leadership, mobility? You think fans are just going to forget that and get in line for Arch Mania? No way! Not in this town. If Shedeur starts winning hearts here, he'll win control of this team. Draft status won't matter. Media noise won't matter. All that matters in Cleveland is, can you ball? So here's the real question, Dog Pound. Are you ready to write this kid off before he's even started? Or are you willing to give him a chance to prove himself in orange and brown? We've waited a long time for the right guy. We've pinned hopes on names like Brady Quinn, Johnny Manziel, Cody Kessler, and so many others. Most of them were picked higher than Sanders. Most had more media hype. But Shedeur's got something they didn't. The work ethic of a backup, the vision of a starter, and the fire of a legacy kid who wants to write his own name. So let's not bury him before the first snap. Let's not buy into projections from people who don't watch every day at camp. Let's listen to the locker room. Let's watch what happens on the field. And let's ask ourselves, do we want the national media writing our quarterback story, or do we want Shedeur to write it himself? All right, Dog Pound, your voice matters now. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you believe Shedeur Sanders deserves a legit shot to prove he's the guy, Or would you rather swing big on Arch Manning next April? Smash that like button if you're tired of Cleveland being counted out. Subscribe to Dawg Pound Daily if you want real talk from real fans, not empty hot takes from the national media. We don't run with the headlines. We watch the grind. And Shedeur Sanders is grinding like he's already earned that jersey. Let's see who still believes.